Yo, what's good? So I just caught SportsCenter on ESPN, and the entire panel was absolutely losing their minds about multiple massive and interconnected stories involving the New York Knicks that have fans simultaneously celebrating another dominant home victory while also buzzing with legitimate excitement about potential franchise-altering roster moves that could elevate this team to genuine championship contender status. There's updated seismic reporting emerging that the Knicks could realistically pursue Memphis Grizzlies superstar point guard Ja Morant in what would be a blockbuster trade acquisition that completely transforms New York's backcourt and offensive capability. But before diving deep into that explosive Morant trade speculation update, the SportsCenter crew absolutely had to break down the Knicks' impressive 133-120 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies that extends their remarkable perfect home record to an absolutely dominant 7-0 at Madison Square Garden. Hey, what's up, everyone? Before we jump into this massive Knicks news, I just want to ask you for a quick favor that would mean the world to me. If you could just take 1 second right now and hit that like button, it would be incredibly important to me and helps this channel grow so much. I know it seems like a small thing, but those likes genuinely make a huge difference in getting this content out to more Knicks fans who need to stay updated on everything happening with this team. So seriously, just tap that like button real quick. It literally takes 1 second and it helps me out more than you know. The New York Knicks absolutely dominated the Memphis Grizzlies in genuinely convincing fashion, securing a 133-120 victory to continue their incredible winning streak. They are now an absolutely perfect and pristine 7-0 at Madison Square Garden, which is genuinely remarkable and demonstrates they've transformed the Garden into a legitimate fortress this season, where opposing teams simply cannot find ways to win. The SportsCenter analysts emphasized it feels genuinely amazing to be a New York Knicks fan right now in this moment. They're willing to go out on a limb and definitively state it. The Knicks are playing like the absolute best basketball team in the entire Eastern Conference at this precise moment. They're playing like a team that can legitimately beat any opponent on any single night, regardless of matchup difficulties or stylistic challenges. The Mike Brown era has officially arrived and fully taken hold. New York is executing Mike Brown's distinctive style of read-and-react basketball at an extremely high level, with remarkable consistency. The Knicks tied the rebounding battle 44-44 against Memphis, which was actually surprisingly close, given New York's usual dominance on the glass. They were also very competitive in the assist battle, which actually slightly favored Memphis statistically, but the major statistical difference that separated the two teams was that the Knicks took significantly better care of the basketball with only 14 turnovers compared to Memphis's incredibly sloppy 22 giveaways that killed possessions. The SportsCenter panel thought the Knicks' defensive intensity and focus really picked up dramatically and noticeably in that crucial second quarter after they had allowed 30 points to Memphis in the opening period. New York hoisted up an absolutely franchise record 55 three-point attempts tonight, which is genuinely remarkable volume and demonstrates their commitment to playing modern basketball. When you're shooting 40% from three-point range like the Knicks did, though, you absolutely should keep firing them up without any hesitation whatsoever. The analysts thought, perhaps down the stretch, New York was settling for some contested three-pointers when they could have attacked the rim more aggressively. There wasn't really a legitimate rim protector in the game with Jaren Jackson Jr. sitting on the bench watching in street clothes, so they would have genuinely liked seeing the Knicks get downhill and attack the paint more consistently. But ultimately, they took care of business and secured the convincing victory. The perimeter defense still isn't quite at that elite championship level for the Knicks. Memphis hit almost 37% of their three-point attempts, which is higher than you'd ideally want to allow to any opponent. But overall, New York got the job done comprehensively, on the back of Jalen Brunson's absolute brilliance and elite play. This was legitimately one of Brunson's most efficient games of the entire season, according to the detailed SportsCenter breakdown and statistical analysis. A slight 32 32 points and 10 assists for the captain, though he was admittedly a little bit sloppy with the basketball at times, committing 6 turnovers. But 32 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds on absolutely scorching 57% shooting from the field is genuinely elite production the championship teams need. Brunson was genuinely on fire from beyond the three-point arc, draining an impressive 6 of 9 three-pointers for an outstanding 66.7% from deep. Right when this game kind of felt like it was getting slightly closer and more competitive in the fourth quarter, with Memphis making a mini run and cutting into the lead, Brunson really just completely took over the game and brought New York home to victory with clutch shot-making. It's what Brunson does best, and exactly why he's genuinely considered the best closer in the entire NBA, according to the panel's assessment. Karl Anthony Towns was absolutely awesome and dominant for the first 3 quarters of this game, consistently scoring and rebounding. But Towns started picking up some genuinely dumb and unnecessary fouls in the fourth quarter that put him in legitimate foul trouble and limited his effectiveness down the stretch. Towns still has to learn how not to commit those types of unnecessary fouls. He's really quite excellent at picking up fouls that are completely avoidable. Some would sarcastically say the absolute best in the league at committing unnecessary contact. Towns finished with a solid 21 points and 13 rebounds with 4 assists, shooting pretty decently at 37.5% from three-point range on 8 attempts, which is respectable volume. He wasn't quite as efficient from inside the arc, though, going just 4 of 9 from 2-point range, which is below his usual standards. Overall, Towns shot 41% from the field, and you'd really genuinely like to see that shooting percentage number north of 50%, especially when you're shooting 37.5% from three-point range. Mikal Bridges was absolutely awesome in tonight's contest, according to the enthusiastic Sports Center crew. Not his most efficient shooting performance from three-point range specifically, but still a very solid and productive 22 points on 17 shot attempts, while shooting 47% from the field overall, which is good efficiency. The analysts genuinely think Bridges has really settled into his role beautifully within this system. He looks extremely confident out there on the floor and has been consistently efficient game after game. Bridges also contributed 7 rebounds and 5 assists with 0 turnover, showing he's become a really valuable secondary playmaker and facilitator for this team. The ball movement and offensive flow for the Knicks was genuinely excellent all night long. OG Anunoby struggled significantly to shoot the ball from three-point range, going just 1 of 10 from beyond the arc, which is genuinely uncharacteristically poor shooting for someone of his caliber. But remarkably and almost unbelievably, Anunoby was an incredible 6 of 7 from 2-point range, which the panel absolutely can't believe they're saying given his usual shot distribution favoring threes. OG finished with a productive 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 turnovers in his minute. The crew thought Anunoby played the passing lanes pretty intelligently on the defensive end and finished with 2 steals disrupting Memphis's offense. But now let's transition to the updated Ja Morant blockbuster trade speculation, because this could genuinely and completely transform the Knicks' championship timeline and aspiration. Ja Morant is unquestionably the primary star player of the Memphis Grizzlies franchise, but his trajectory in the NBA has been significantly marked by off-court controversies and a recent dramatic decline in on-court performance that has culminated in an increasingly tense climate within the organization. These concerning factors, seriously aggravated by a major change in the coaching staff and offensive philosophy, have genuinely propelled and intensified the rumors about his possible departure from Memphis. Looking at Morant's career panorama and trajectory, his ascension was meteoric and impressive. Morant was the 2nd overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft and rapidly became a legitimate star in the league, leading a young and genuinely exciting Grizzlies team to playoff success. His athletic ability and spectacular highlight reel plays made him one of the most popular and marketable players in the entire NBA. However, his recent decline has been concerning and dramatic. The 2024-2025 season has been genuinely difficult and frustrating for Morant, both individually and team-wide. He has openly demonstrated dissatisfaction with the team's direction and was even suspended for one game due to conduct detrimental to the team, which is extremely serious. His on-court performance has also dramatically declined, registering the worst statistical averages of his entire career under the new head coach's system. The motivations for Morant's possible departure from Memphis are complex and multifaceted, according to the SportsCenter analysis. First and most importantly, there's been significant conflict with the new offensive system. Morant has clearly shown himself to be dissatisfied and frustrated with the new system of play implemented by head coach Tuomas Isalo, which has left him genuinely unhappy and frustrated with his role. This has generated serious friction with the coaching staff and resulted in a noticeable lack of intensity and engagement from the player on the court during game. Second, Morant's well-documented history of off-court controversies remains a concern. His disciplinary problems, including the high-profile suspension for appearing with firearms on social media in 2023, generates ongoing concern about his behavior and decision-making both within and outside the team environment. Although that's not the immediate catalyst for the current crisis, his problematic history could significantly influence the franchise's ultimate decision about his future. Third, the recent trade departure of Desmond Bane, who was genuinely one of the team's star players and Morant's closest teammate, has dramatically increased the perception that the franchise may be genuinely open to making major foundational changes to the roster. This has significantly strengthened the idea and belief that the Grizzlies organization could potentially be willing to part with Morant if they receive an advantageous trade proposal that sets up their future. Fourth and finally, there's the possibility of complete team reconstruction. With the internal organizational climate having deteriorated significantly and the team performing well below expectations and playoff positioning, the Grizzlies may seriously consider trading Morant to acquire young, talented prospects and valuable draft picks, seeking to completely rebuild the team around an entirely new foundation and core. For the New York Knicks specifically, acquiring Ja Morant would provide absolutely explosive athleticism, elite playmaking ability, and dynamic offensive creation that would complement Jalen Brunson beautifully in the backcourt. The SportsCenter crew genuinely thinks if the Knicks can successfully navigate and manage the legitimate off-court behavioral concerns, and Morant fully commits to maturity and winning basketball, he could absolutely thrive in New York's established winning culture under Mike Brown's system. Morant's ability to attack the rim and create for others would take pressure off Brunson, while his transition scoring would fit perfectly into the Knicks' up-tempo style. So that was the comprehensive SportsCenter breakdown of the Knicks' dominant home victory, plus the updated explosive Ja Morant trade speculation.